What is up, everybody? My name is Wolf. We are back with another episode of Film Study where I break down replays from the community just like I would when I was a coach. I have 3 replays I want to go over. Unfortunately, when there's an update, even if it's just a small one, the replays expire. 2 of the replays are expired, so I cannot do full reviews on them. I'm sorry, guys. I know you already submitted one, but if you send in another, I'll get to it first thing. All right, let's take a look at Tynock's replay. Okay, your opponent is playing pretty aggressive with the Stormcrawlers in front like this. Very aggressive, very exposed, though. He's not doing a good job protecting them. So that's absolutely a weakness you can capitalize on. Yeah, you should have this round pretty easily because of the crawlers. Very nice. Alright, so before you place any units down, this is what I want to see, right? Because he's so exposed with his Stormcrawlers right here, I would love to see you place down crawlers to take advantage of that. Because you'll attack him immediately. You'll put so much pressure on him. Normally, in a situation when they have like Stormcrawlers like this, you'd put vertical crawlers. And then you can send them, you know, whatever which way you want with like a mobile beacon to distract them. It's called like the crawler shuffle, the crawler dance, crawler wiggle, whatever you want to, you know, call it yourself. But the point is, you put down vertical crawlers so that you distract his Stormcrawlers. In this particular case, though, because he's so exposed, I think honestly, just putting even horizontal crawlers and attacking him like that would be even beneficial. Because the first volley that they shoot is going to miss, right? First volley is going to miss. And you're going to be on him right away. It's going to distract all his other units too. So yeah, that's what I want to see out of you. I want to see, you know, just attack him with crawlers essentially. So I like the fact that you put 2 crawlers down, but this one should be, you know, over. If you're going to put them in the back, you know, spread them out a little bit. So it's okay to put one in the middle, but you're going to want, you know, them spread out, not in the same area. But also, again, like I said, you know, they should probably be in the front so you can take advantage of the Stormcrawlers. But, you know, throwing down sentry missiles, I'm all for sentry missiles. If you watch my videos, you know I love to use them to take advantage of, you know, certain opportunities. But in this particular case, I don't think you need to use them. You know, you will kill this, right? You'll kill these, which will absolutely win you the round for sure. But you're spending 100 supplies to do it. And the thing is, you didn't need to use it. And so, like, it's one thing if you catch him off guard and you get a big value gain. Like, let's say you took out 400 or even 500, you know, supplies out the board with 50. Fantastic. But right now, you're not doing that because you could accomplish the same thing if you would have just put down crawlers in the front. You know what I mean? And so you're going to absolutely wipe it away. And it's fine. It's not going to hurt you too bad. You will win the round. But it's just something that you want to keep an eye on in the future. If you can accomplish it a different way that's more permanent, then you should explore that option first. Also, getting an attack upgrade this early is probably not good. You're going to want to wait a little bit on that. That's a lot of money to spend. So if you want to do upgrades, fantastic. But maybe wait until around 4 or 5 to do that. Or unless you have something very specific in mind. Alright, so he went Scorpions and you went Fire Badgers. Okay, so where you put your Fire Badgers is too far up. The Fire Badgers are going to be so far forward, they're not actually going to help you. But if you're going to put Arc Lights out on the sides, which is totally fine to do, you have 5 Arc Lights spread out. I think that's plenty, right? So you could have got something else, like a Scorpion to deal damage, or a Fortress, for example. And so this was the biggest mistake I think you made so far in the game. 100%, this is where I think you went wrong so far. Okay, so the sentry missiles again will kill him, but you're also spending a lot of money to do that. You know, it would have been better just to have crawlers up front. So if you would have put the crawlers up front last round, you wouldn't have had to use sentry missiles this round. You know what I mean? Okay, you're gonna win the ground game, but you won't be able to kill the wasp. So technically, he'll win. All right, let's just skip the round 4. So both of you guys took subsidized Mustang. However, Mustangs are not good into crawlers, they're not good into sledgehammers, they're not good into fire badgers. So your opponent taking Mustangs, I'm not sure why he did that. That was not a good decision on his part. You taking Mustangs was a fantastic decision. It's good against fangs, it can be decent against crawlers, it's good against wasps, you know, it can counter missiles. So I think it's absolutely fantastic that you took Mustangs. And so yeah, I'll give you, that was a great decision on your part. So what I'd like to see you do this round is place Mustangs here and here. Perfect. Okay, so you had an A+ going, bro. You had an A+, right? You picked the right card. You threw down Mustangs like I wanted. That was perfect. But then you got anti-air on your arclights. And then, you know, you kind of ruined the momentum that you had going. Because if you're going to throw down Mustangs, right, to counter the wasps, you don't also need to get anti-air on your arclights. It's just too redundant. Too many supplies going into stopping the same threat when you have an even bigger threat, figuratively and literally, in the Scorpion. Because the Scorpion's still killing your stuff right away. And so this needs to be sold, of course. Sell this absolutely, right? And you didn't need the anti-air and arclights. In fact, I would remove anti-air from your arclight. I think it's a viable tech if you are like a marksman player and you don't build Mustangs a lot. Then I can see it being a good tech to have. But outside of that, I would remove it. I think Mustangs are in a really good spot right now with their latest update. So I would just go something else, honestly. Yeah, you could even get elite instead of anti-air if you wanted to. Or charge shot. Yeah, I would get elite or charge shot instead of anti-air. All right, and so you're using a lot of sentry missiles still. It would have been better if you just had crawlers. Again, this would have been the third round that you had crawlers, so you wouldn't have had to use the sentry missiles. And also, using a sentry to hit his Scorpion's a waste because it's not going to do very much damage to him at all. And he's already close enough to get a shot off, so it's not even going to slow him down. Killing the side ones, I can understand, but right now, honestly, the missiles are not a threat. They could be distracted by crawlers. Perfectly fine. So it looks like you're going to win this round by numbers only, but I'm a little concerned going forward because you just don't have anything that can kill that Scorpion. Outside of obviously winning everywhere else. Let's see. Okay, your opponent picked Deployment Specialist, you picked Orbital Javelin. Okay. So I like the fact that you went Orbital. I think that's fine. You know, it's 200 supplies, which is a lot, especially since you've already, you know, spent a lot of supplies on sentry missiles. And so one thing that you should have absolutely done is, again, sold this. That's 400 supplies. It would have helped offset the cost of the temporary stuff you're spending on. But also the placement of your orbital. It's fantastic that you want to take out the Scorpion. I totally agree that that is a threat. However, where you have it placed right now could be moved up just a little bit. If you would have moved it back just a little bit, you would have been able to kill all of his wasps. Instead, you have a chance to kill a few, maybe, but you're not going to kill all of them, that's for sure. I'm not entirely sure why you went Overlord here. You know, honestly, I would have went more Mustang so that you can handle the air threat properly. And then you're orbitaling his Scorpion, so next round you can put something more damage dealing down. Yeah, okay, so it looks like you killed three of the wasps with that orbital. And you did fantastic damage, right? You did absolutely fantastic damage. All right, so now I'm going to take you over. I'm going to place the orbital just a little bit higher and make a couple different changes, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so we got the orbital. All right, let's put it there. And then let's see, what do we want to do? I'm going to get Mustangs. Let's go ahead and give them a range. All right, something like this maybe. All right, so you did 1,495 damage. Yeah, see, I got all the wasps and the scorpion. Right. Okay, so just those very small changes. You did 1,495. Let's see how much I do. $1,806. There you go. You know, it wasn't huge, but we did more damage and you're set up better for the future. So I put crawlers here and mustangs here. I gave them range. And you know, we did a lot of damage. We did what, 1,800 something damage. So it wouldn't have killed them, but it would have got them somewhere around 500. And also you would have been set up, you know, better for the future, right? Because not only would you have had range on these guys, but you also would have had more of them. And that would have helped you take care of his wasps a little bit better. And then now it frees you up to take care of his scorpion, right? All right, so let's go to 6. Okay, so your opponent went Vulcans. Okay, so it looks like you only placed one unit, and that was the Overlord. Right now, wasps should not be a problem at all, yet I feel like they're still going to be, because right now, aside from the ones on the outside, your arc lights, which are anti-air, right? And your typhoons, which are good against wasps, they're your frontliners. And so they're going to get absolutely blasted by the scorpion and just hammered on by the Vulcans. And the problem is his wasps with range are just going to shoot you from a distance. So you're not even going to shoot them before you get through his big stuff. And so even though it should be a counter, it's not going to be a counter. Because really, instead of focusing on anti-air, you need to focus on anti-ground right now. You need a way to deal with his scorpions and his Vulcans. And right now, I just don't think you have one. I think shields are amazing on typhoons, but not as the actual front line. You know, you're going to need something in front of them. You're going to need chaff. Fortresses would have been amazing here. Fortresses with barrier too. And if you were going to pick overlords, I think they need to be positioned higher so that you can actually shoot his big stuff. I don't think this round's going to go very well. If it hits the Vulcan, it's not going to do damage. This one hitting the Vulcan's not going to do damage. This one hitting the Scorpion's not going to do damage. Like, it's not worth the cost. Yeah, it was just a waste, honestly. It's just a waste of 150 supplies. Because you're slowing them down for no reason. They're just sitting there shooting anyway. Yeah, see what I mean though? Your front line got absolutely obliterated. And it's just your overlords left to deal with everything. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so I think it's absolutely cool that you used oil to extend the fire. I think that's fantastic. So, you know, A+ for that little trick. However, I think you should remove it. I mean, excuse me, lower it just a little bit. So that you encompass, you know, all of it. That you're going to deal damage. Because even though you're not going to do much damage to his, you know, Scorpions and Vulcans, you'll still do a little bit of damage. Because right now, I think, you know, they're just going to walk out of it. And so I would just say lower it just a little bit. But that is, you know, fantastic to extend it like that. And then, you know, still need to sell the fire badges, of course. And the main concern, honestly, is adding a front line. You need beefy boys. you need beef, right? You need beef in front. Otherwise, your damage dealers just aren't going to do any damage. So you need to work on. I don't think, honestly, there's anything you could do in round 7 to win round 7. But there are things you can do to set yourself up to maybe win in like round 8 or 9. You can absolutely minimize the damage, but right now you still have to build out a foundation. That foundation is getting essentially tanks and meat shields so that you're in a position where your damage dealers can actually do damage. And okay, so you added, oh my gosh, all right. Okay, so you 3-teched overlords. They're level 1, right? They're only level 1 and they have 3 tech. That's crazy. You spent so many supplies into that that I think could have been useful elsewhere. And so I would say the game's over, honestly. I don't want to sound dramatic, but I think there's, you know, that's a little insurmountable to come back from, because we're in a pretty bad spot right now. Hey, but no worse. And it's a waste of 50 again, or 100, excuse me, because they're still gonna just sit there and shoot. So slowing them down doesn't matter, and you're not gonna really do any damage to them relative to like their overall HP. So you got the Stormcallers and his chaff, which was absolutely fantastic. But see, if you lowered it a little bit, his scorpions would be taking a little bit more damage. Every little bit helps. Yeah, see, that's right there. That was the difference of the scorpion dying, you know, on the first volley, where he could have maybe, you know, put his attention somewhere else. Yeah, this one's not looking good. I noticed last round you didn't place down a single unit. Definitely cannot have that. You're gonna want to use, in the vast majority of cases, you're gonna want to use your deployments for sure. Especially in this case, like your needs, right, outweighed, you know, teching level 1 overlords, and 2 of them at that. Yeah, the sentry missiles just aren't giving you any value right now. I know you're in desperation mode, you're probably just trying anything you can, so I understand. I know his win looked pretty concrete. You know, you were getting destroyed the last few rounds, so you might feel like in over your head, like, oh shoot, you know, where did you go wrong? But it's okay, because I think, you know, you could be optimistic because you were in the driver's seat at one point. You know, you were making the better decisions through the first couple rounds, and you were in a good spot in the game. But where I think you went wrong is getting the Fire Badgers in round 3, and then you compounded that by their placement, right? And then you compounded that by not selling them. So 3 major mistakes all center around your Fire Badgers, right? But the most important part to that is, even if you did take them, that's fine. You know, if that's your preference, that's fine. But the placement of them is absolutely a mistake. And then once you notice that he had scorpions, you absolutely 100% have to sell them, because all they're doing right now is providing him XP. Like, let's look at what his XP is. He's almost a level 4. And he's going to get that free upgrade. Yeah, good luck with that one, you know? Like, that's going to be ridiculously hard to take out, especially since you don't really have anything that can take it out. You know, going into Overlords, you had 2 of them, and you got 3 techs. That's just way too many supplies to spend on 2 Overlords. You know, if you're going to go into Overlords, you better have multiple of these bad boys, you know? Better have like 6, 7, 8 of them, right? So they can absolutely blow up his line from the start. Know what I mean? Alright, Tanak, I hope that helped you, man. Things I would say you need to work on, you know, not teching so fast or so many times into one unit when you don't have a lot of them, especially. Make sure you build out your board more, you know, watch your positioning on the Fire Badgers, for example. Don't use as many temporary things like sentry missiles. You put a lot of supplies into those. Make sure that you're using all of your deployments. And the last thing I'll say is, you know, watch the redundancy on how many different things you have to counter one specific thing the opponent has. I think you did a good job overall. Obviously, you have some stuff to work on. I'd be interested, you know, in seeing another one of your replays in the future to see how you've improved. So I hope I helped. And if you're watching this and you have a replay you want to submit, you can do so by filling out the form found in the description, or you can tag me in the official Discord. I'm whooped. Thanks for watching.